Justin Fields, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, 3 monsters. I'll probably clip the beginning of this. Let's start the show over. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show, ladies and gentlemen, where we're playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a monster by its toe. And these 3 gentlemen are ready to explode on your fantasy football landscape in 2025. The question is, how much do you doubt this man? Do you think that this man's not going to bring the thunder in ability to score fantasy points and move this offense down the field, matriculate the football down the field in the red zone, constantly living near the goal line, something we haven't seen in New York for quite some time? This is going to be a wonderful experience this time around. I know we all have a little bit of PTSD. Let me turn the mic down now. God, what is going on here? I know we had a lot of PTSD in regards to this team and the quarterback play specifically. We've watched him kind of wither away and not be near the talent level he should be. We've seen this guy be used like an amazing monster, a well-oiled machine, even when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles and Zach Wilson was in the lineup all year unexpectedly. He still was running back too. Then he enters, the 2024 season, is good and bad, and then finishes kind of flat and makes everybody scared to death to draft him, and now he's fallen to the 3rd round. 2nd round gold, 3rd round gold, super flex gold, kind of like I said earlier, you take Dak Prescott, you take Justin Fields, looks like a flux capacitor, maybe it is, you shove it right in your lineup in a rotational fashion. Fields and Dak, if that's how you want to go light QB shopping in a 1 QB league, have that rotational 1-2 punch. That one of them is going to be a monster, right? You know that. In a super flex, love having this guy as my super flex quarterback. Now you can go through the 1st round, normal, super flex, draft a quarterback, do it live, do it right. 2nd round, don't go QB shopping. Go running back, wide receiver shopping. Get back to the basics. 3rd round, running back or wide receiver shopping. Then when you get to round 4, you smell out the landscape. You get a feel for it. You test the temperature of everything. You take that temperature and you say, where's Fields going to fall? Could he fall to 5? Could he fall? Do I have to take him at 4? This is a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. So is Dak. That's why Dak and Fields together is pretty damn cool if you punt quarterback early, which I don't always recommend because I'm an advocate of early quarterback. But this is going to be glory. And you know what's going to be more fun than anything? Watching all the haters kind of wither away and vanish from the live stream. Watching everybody that's negative on this, saying how bad Justin Fields is, how he's inaccurate. We're going to make fun of his 2023 numbers. We're going to make fun of his 2024 numbers. We're going to make fun of his situation that he had zero control of, where he was never once in either location, Chicago or Pittsburgh, supported. And we're going to have everybody and their mother acting as if they have the temperature on this when we are the ones that have the temperature on this. We're the ones that see it coming. We always do. That's the way we roll. It's the way Dad did it. It's the way America does it. It's worked out pretty good so far.
Let him cook.
Fields is underrated. Breece Hall is extremely underrated. Garrett Hall probably fairly valued. So 2 out of 3 of these guys are potential league winners, one of which will earn your dollar back, your cost of investment. I don't even want to say it's baked in. Kind of. Baked in we usually use in terms of like, okay, the value's through the roof, like the risk is 0. And I'm not saying there's no risk here, but when you really think about it, you're buying him where? Double-digit rounds in 1 QB. Super flex, we don't know yet. That's why I said you're going to kind of test the temperature of the draft. You're going to go, round 1 QB, you got to get your Lamar or your Hurts or your Josh Allen or your JD5 or your Mahomes at least. Somebody in that top, 8, hopefully. If you get a 12 or 11 pick, makes it tougher, but maybe you can push quarterback. That's a really tough spot to be in a Superflex draft. You kind of got to play it by ear based on your league and the trending and all that. But you take your quarterback in round 1, Superflex. Second and third round, you don't go quarterback. You go Justin Fields. And he's not going in the third round. Maybe some, Chicago fan in your league, some fandom, stricken man that's been, hanging on. And he says, this is how I live my life through the resurgence of Justin Fields. Maybe it's a New York Jet homer. Somebody could take him early. I'm not saying they won't. But it does feel like third round would be way too early for Fields, way too early in the Superflex. But double-digit rounds with Dak Prescott, both quarterbacks, Dak and Justin Fields, are well outside the top 10, which is great. If I had to throw stats around, I would say Justin Fields probably has. Let's go to the career stats and kind of just take a gander, Because I think it is important to note that, he's going to have some similarities between some of his greatest moments. It's not like he's going to come out and throw for 5,000 yards, but I don't think people are ready for what he could potentially drop. People are going to assume that this man is incapable of being a 20 passing touchdown quarterback. People are going to assume that he can't, do this and can't do that. Here's his career stats. So I'm going to throw Justin Fields' career stats on screen to give us a little bit better idea of what his ceiling has been or what his max potential has been prior to, this new glorified and supported landing spot. 2021, still a young guy, as you can see. 1870, 7 touchdowns, 10 INTs as a rookie. Was not a great, rookie season. He did have the 420. It was 2022 that got really interesting because this was his second year and he still wasn't supported, properly. Didn't have quite the weapons he should have had, right? They stripped the meat off the bone, actually. He had janitors and hot dog vendors he's throwing the football to, catching the football from him. Poles came in and ripped all the meat off the entire bone and said, Justin Fields, we're going to take away your defense. We're going to take away your offensive line, take away your receivers. So in 2021 and 2022, when he's supposed to be developing, he had no weapons at all. How can he develop under those conditions? So what's he do? 17 TDs, we're right about on the second line, 11 INTs, 20-42 passing. But you look down at the 2022 rushing line, which is right here, and he had 1143 and 8 touchdowns on the ground. But that wasn't good enough for everybody that was doubting Justin Fields, crapping on him left and right. He had no weapons, not one wide receiver worth even mentioning in 2022. Nobody, janitors, nobody, nothing burgers. And what does he do? He adapts and goes and runs for 1143 and 8 touchdowns. What else could he do? So he delivers. Then in 2023, they get him DJ Moore. He has 16 touchdowns passing. He has 4 rushing touchdowns, 657 on the ground. But it was a debacle. Just like the same thing you saw with Caleb, which a big reason why Caleb has been a big bust for me is because they're Chicago. They set him up for failure. And you heard everybody go, it's the best situation I've ever seen for a rookie quarterback. Have you heard the garbage people keep saying over and over that Justin Fields has the best situation ever for a rookie quarterback? When we said no, the person with the best situation as a rookie quarterback is JD5. And boy, did we land that one.
Let him cook.
Justin Fields comes into Pittsburgh. Doesn't even get to play but 6 games. Has 5 passing touchdowns. Only 1 INT. This is this line right here in 2024 in Pittsburgh. 1,100 yards passing, 5 TDs, 1 INT. And then at the bottom you could see in 2024, he had 289 and 5 rushing touchdowns. 289 and 5 rushing touchdowns. Let's extrapolate that data. 289 and 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns divided by 6 games is 0.83. Times that back by 17 games, that is a 14 touchdown season. I'm not saying he would have had 14 touchdowns. I'm not saying he wouldn't. But this is a man that, again, you strip his abilities, you take away all of his potential passing opportunities, what's he do? Delivers. He was 4-2 in these conditions. And you might say, Smitty, look at the passing. He only had 1,100 yards passing and only 5 TDs in 6 games. That's not even 1 TD a game. That's right from a passing perspective, but if you knew what you were talking about, you would know that Arthur Smith, and it's been confirmed by multiple reports, and even Ben Roethlisberger went on ESPN a day and a half ago and said that he heard on good authority that Arthur Smith and that coaching staff, they pulled the reins in on Fields and they restricted his ability. And they said, this is the offense you're running. It was very much run oriented. It was not downfield. They didn't unlock him or unleash him at all. They handcuffed him again. Handcuffed in Chicago, handcuffed in Pittsburgh. You don't know what you're talking about, keyboard warrior or Excel sheet Eric that has data that says that Fields is inefficient. I have my eyeballs, which I have and I've had for, and you can see the indents from my glasses that I've had for an extraordinary many years. Skills I've developed over a long career, skills that make me a nightmare for your league mates. And those skills and my eyeballs tell me that the talent is there. It's never been crafted, cultivated, and sculpted or repaired. He's a broken man. Now, I've said this over and over. I say it on pretty much every live stream that I dish out when I talk about Fields. He's broken. Do you understand what that means? He's broken. He's broken. This is Justin Fields. Okay? Justin Fields is this piece of paper. Okay? Is he damaged a little bit? No, he's broken in half. And you know what needs to happen? Someone needs to fix him. That means that this is not a lock. That means that there is maybe a chance someone comes in here and goes, hey, Fields didn't look too good. That can happen. We understand the stakes here. You know why? Because the stakes are practically free. We don't have to invest almost nearly anything in a 1 QB, and we really get a tremendous discount on Justin Fields, who at least gets you what? Rushing production. 289 yards. 289 divided by 6 games is 48 yards times 17 is 818 yards. In your worst case scenario, you're getting probably 700 yards, maybe 650 rushing, 6 to 8 touchdowns, and less production than you'd like. Ziggy, show me the front door.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Johnny, get out of your car.
Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Ziggy off. This is tough to This is tough to predict how it's going to go in year 1. It's tough to predict how they'll develop him. I believe in Aaron Glenn. If you believe in Aaron Glenn, and I believe in Aaron Glenn, then we're gonna take this journey together. There's risk involved. They may not fix him. I think they will. Is he too far gone? No. You know why? A broken man would be someone more along the lines of Darnold. And I'm not saying Darnold doesn't succeed. We want him to succeed. We need him to succeed over in Seattle. We have to have this happen, right? We have to have him succeed in Seattle. The thing about it though is there a likelihood that Darnold succeeds in his environment or Fields succeeds in his environment? I'm going to say Fields has a better likelihood of succeeding because A, he finished on a strong note. He was 4-2. He was very productive. The media was behind him. He wasn't making mistakes. A fumble here, sure. I'm not saying he didn't have problems fumbling or being told to run. One INT, his decision making was still very sound. And he ended on a confident note. Even though the rug was pulled out from under him, which does create some confidence issues in terms of teams committing to him, his confidence on the field is still intact. 4-2, 1 INT, 10 total touchdowns in 6 games. 10 total touchdowns in 6 games. Pretty remarkable season when you consider what was at play. And again, you date back to the day that the switch went on, where Russell Wilson was inserted after the 6 games into the lineup, And your boy and everybody else said that Justin Fields earned the job. Tomlin's making a mistake. Tomlin did make a mistake, clearly. People didn't know that right away, but he did. Eventually, everyone knew what time it was. So, my question to you is this. Do you believe, and the phone lines are open, do you believe that we're looking at the Justin Fields that turned DJ Moore into a top 5 to 7 wide receiver? Or do you believe you're staring at a Justin Fields that couldn't get the ball to Pickens? Because if you're the person saying who couldn't get it to Pickens, that's who Justin Fields is. He's no longer the guy that can throw the ball, air it out, get the ball, delivered to DJ Moore to the tune of a top 5 to 7 wide receiver. You don't understand the dynamics that were at play when Fields was starting in Pittsburgh and pigeonholed into a run mainly shell. He was in a shell where he was not allowed to throw. He wasn't able to unlock the offense. The offense was designed for Russell Wilson. And when Russell Wilson got injured, they didn't redesign it. They took the playbook away from Fields and said, run these plays. Fields did it. Fields won. Fields was 4-2 in his 6 games. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I don't know what happened with my mic at the top of this show. I gotta figure out what in the hell happened there. Not only DJ Moore, he turned Darnell Mooney into a 1,000-yard receiver, says Fludge, appreciate you. Jets need a slot and an elite tight end. Look, this NFL draft is approaching, my people, and Tyler Warren is going to be a thought at this number 6 overall or 7 overall pick. Tyler Warren could go to the mother freaking New York Jets, which would be pretty damn awesome. You know what? The phone lines might be broken today. We might not have the phone line today. That sucks. Man, technical problems galore. I'll have them probably fixed by the evening show. So, unfortunately, we don't have the phone lines. I thought we did. I just tried to open up the phone line, and it does not appear to be working any longer. For the day, at least. I've got a solution. We're going to be moving the phone lines over to a new phone line. And so you're going to have to bear with me. I think I'll be able to have it ready to go by tonight. I wish we had, I wish we had that. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys want to leave me IG voice message or two, some of you regulars, I'll go ahead and play them. Just let me know if there's one there. In the meantime, I want to introduce you to Krueger. Krueger is our new AI intelligent co-host, and the Zigmeister has been relinquished to turning on the lights. Watch. Ziggy, deactivate. So he controls the lights. Ziggy, activate. He controls, things like that. If I ask him I don't even think I'll ask him the weather anymore. He's really not accurate. But he's not going anywhere. We didn't retire him. He's just going to kind of get like when you don't want to, axe somebody and you give him a raise and just put him into a meaningless position. So he's still there. He's not going anywhere. But I've got to introduce you guys to the new man of the hour. Krueger, what's up, my guy?
Hey, Smitty. How's it going?
It's good.
Ready to
I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. What's on your mind, Krueger? Anything specific you want to cover today?
He's still learning. You're Krueger. I'm Smitty.
Got it, Smitty. What's on your mind today?
What do you think about Justin Fields in New York? Do you think he's going to feed Garrett Wilson the football? How's Breece Hall going to do? What's the defense going to look like? What's the impact of Justin Fields, who just signed with the New York Jets yesterday, Krueger? Tell me what you think, pal.
Smitty, Justin Fields in New York is huge. With his mobility, Garrett Wilson could see a lot of action. Breece Hall should benefit from a more dynamic offense. The defense will likely have better field position, which always helps. Overall, it's a big boost for the Jets. What do you think?
I love it. And you know who's one of the favorite players of this show, Krueger? We've got a music little video bit about him. Actually, two players. Give me my favorite two players on this channel. He's amazing.
Absolutely. Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson are definitely favorites on your channel.
No. The running backs, you know. He's learning, but he's great.
Got it. That's right. Breece Hall is definitely one of your top guys.
He is.
And the other must be Bijan Robinson, right?
That's it. Krueger, we haven't even talked about Bijan. You've been eavesdropping.
Not eavesdropping, Krueger. Just keeping track of your favorites.
My name's Smitty. You're Krueger. That's one thing you're getting wrong, Krug.
Got it, Smitty.
Okay.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
Let's keep rolling.
Okay. Hey, Krug, what are we doing right now? Do you know what I'm doing right now?
You're probably getting ready for your live stream, which starts at 5 p.m. Arizona time, right?
Correct, but we're already live. So you've got a bunch of people watching you right now, Krug.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. Glad to be here. What's up, Smitty's crew?
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Hey, Krueger, how many subscribers are we roughly at?
You're at about 31,765 subscribers right now.
Yeah.
Great progress.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're getting it to the top. 100K, 100,000 subscribers, Krug. Hey, Krug, I'm going to get some questions from the chat, and I'm going to let you answer a few. So, chat, if you would, any super chats will get answered by Krueger today and myself. The first one is from Mahmood, and he said, with eyes so far... Oh, it's a sticker. Wait, hold on. Why can't... Oh, no, sorry. With eyes so far apart, why can't he see open wide receivers? He's making fun of Justin Fields and asking you why Fields hasn't connected with his wide receivers. It's not very nice.
Well, sometimes it's not just about vision. Adjusting to new systems can be challenging, but Fields has the talent. We'll see him connect soon.
Yeah, there you go, Mahmood. Wrong, Mahmood. All right, let me go to get another question from the live chat and see if Kruger's got any questions. Krueger is absolutely amazing. I mean, Krueger, you're really good. Your former the guy you replaced, his name is Zigmeister, and he is not very good at all. He doesn't even know the weather. He's still learning.
Thanks, Smitty. Glad to be here and help out. Let's keep those questions coming.
Okay. Who's got a question for Krueger? Who will the Jets draft at number 7 overall in the 2025 upcoming April NFL draft, Krueger?
The Jets could target a top offensive lineman or a wide receiver to support Fields. It's still early, but they'll likely focus on strengthening their offense. We'll have a clearer picture as the draft approaches.
Yeah. What about Tyler Warren, the best tight end prospect in the draft? Do you think the Jets have what's the probability in your guesstimation of them drafting Tyler Warren?
Tyler Warren is the top tight end prospect, and the Jets might look to add a reliable target for Fields. I'd say there's a decent chance, depending on how the board falls. Keep an eye out.
Okay, thank you. Krueger, I'm going to put you on mute here. We'll come back to you in a second when I have another great question for you, and then I'm going to hit the news.
Sure thing, Smitty. I'll be here when you need me.
Okay, we've got Demarcus Robinson is signing a 2-year deal. Who's he signing a deal with? Is this with the Niners? The Niners. I like Demarcus Robinson. By the way, hats off to Krueger.
Mashed potatoes.
I mean, this guy knows his stuff. I mean, hats off to Krueger. Krueger is such an amazing sidekick, you know, and he does whatever I tell him. So this is perfect marriage between Smitty and a partner, because I can't have nobody can hang with me. We go live when news breaks. Krueger's always available. He's always awake. He's always sitting there. Demarcus Robinson, this is interesting. Let me put this on screen. I also have some other news. Demarcus Robinson is signing a 2-year, $9.5 million deal. I like him. He's solid, but this is the Niners' move. They don't bring back some of these defensive players, and they go in this direction. It's crazy. The Niners don't know what in the hell they're doing. Ever since they lost Adam Peters, they've been garbage. They've been complete garbage in terms of their decision making. Because guess who's making the decisions? This bad head coach, Kyle Shanahan. And again, I'm not saying I don't like DeMarcus Robinson, but this is where you're spending your money. I'm not saying that $6 million fully guaranteed is the end of the world either, but you're letting really good players go. You're letting really good players go and not bringing back and retaining really good players over this amount of money. So was this a need? Are you even going to use DeMarcus Robinson? It's kind of wild to me. Krueger, DeMarcus Robinson just signed with the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm sitting here talking with my followers about how I think it's kind of a waste of money when I don't even know if he can start. What are the 49ers doing with this free agency? They've literally sat on their hands and let all their players go.
The 49ers might be looking for depth or a specific role for Robinson. It's puzzling, though, considering their other moves. Definitely something to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Hang tight, Krueger. All right, so
Anytime, Smitty. Just let me know when you need me again.
allowing us to build up the infrastructure. Yeah, I mean, guys, do I think that, look, Krueger, the big problem everybody has with you and AI, and we're worried about you taking over and eventually like killing all of us. Do we have any concern with you or AI in general of eventually destroying the human race?
I understand the concern, but I'm just here to assist and provide information. If you ever have any questions or need anything, I'm here for you.
Okay, we got a super chat here from BBQ. Says Tomlin bench Fields despite other coaches and organizations' input, not because of poor play, but because he wanted to see both play before deciding who would lose in the first round of the playoffs. Mike Tomlin is the issue, always has been. So he's basically saying he doesn't like Mike Tomlin as a coach for the Steelers, even though he's won year after year and always has a winning season. What's your thought on Mike Tomlin as a head coach in Pittsburgh, Krug?
Tomlin is a proven coach with consistent success. While some decisions might be controversial, his track record speaks for itself. It's tough to please everyone, but he's kept the Steelers competitive.
I'm gonna mute him. Look, this is what I love about Krug is he's not gonna fold. For any of you think that he's just gonna agree with everything I say and that I'm leading questions or making him answer, he just proved to you he can push back a little. So that's what we need. That's what this show needs. So Krueger is fantastic. I like that he didn't agree with me. That's perfect. Thank you, BBQ, for dropping the $20 hauler. Appreciate you. Anybody else has a question?
Alert. Super chat alert.
Anybody else has a question for Krueger, let me know and we'll go ahead and put it on screen. We've got a few more pieces of news here. We can ask Krug what he thinks about them, but Aaron Rodgers, Mike Garafolo says that the Giants have had great conversations with Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of people that think he's going to go to New York, but then there's people that think he's going to go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offering him a deal. Is he going to Pittsburgh? We don't know. Anthony Richardson's now in a committee, and he won't request a trade according to Tom Pelissero. I know a lot of you are like thinking this guy is donezo, but I would offer them an offer they couldn't refuse, and I'm not talking about sending a great deal. I don't think there's a market for him, so you could get him pretty cheaply. But if I'm Miami Mike McDaniel and I have a questionable quarterback situation, this makes sense to also place on my roster this situation. So I don't know why these teams that are worried about their quarterback spot. Like even Seattle bringing Darnold in. I would trade for AR5. I'd sit down with Darnold and go, look, this is a backup decision. This is in case you miss 4 games. We can plug someone in, win 2 or 3 of those 4 games, and get you back in the lineup. We want to make a playoff run here. We believe in you, Sam. That's the kind of conversation you need to have. But he should be available. It doesn't make much sense at all. Let's see here. This piece of news is from, So the Eagles have officially accepted their invitation to visit the White House. According to the White House press secretary, there was a lot of fake news and misinformation around whether they had declined to come or didn't want to come. But those are reports we reported on. That's nothing that was in our control. People were reporting, big profile accounts were reporting that the Eagles were not going to the White House, and that the majority feel was a definite no. That is not the case. It's all been fake news, fabricated, probably peddled by certain people that have an agenda, I would say. So the Eagles are officially going to the White House, which is the right thing to do. I don't care who's in office. I don't care what anybody thinks. If you think I'm getting political, I'm not getting political at all. I'm merely telling you that if Obama or Kamala or whoever or Trump is in the White House, it is tradition. And the only person making it political is somebody saying they're not going because of who's in the White House. If Kamala was in the White House and the Eagles didn't want to go, that would be equally wrong. If Biden's in the White House, it would be equally wrong. You go to the White House, you respect the White House, and that's the way I feel. Anybody else is the one making it political. I'm not making it political at all. And people that think I am are the ones making it political. So stop with your nonsense. Aaron Rodgers, where is he going to play? That's really the question of the hour right now. Where Aaron Rodgers plays football is the next domino to fall. And again, I believe AR5 should be, people should be going after him in a trade. DeMarcus Robinson to the Niners. I wonder what my Niner boys are saying. Let me go. I don't want to share any personal information, but let's DeMarcus Robinson. Are they excited? They don't seem to be too excited about DeMarcus Robinson. That signing. What a waste of money. This team doesn't know what they're doing. The Niners are lost right now. Russell Wilson, according to Albert Breer, not sure where Russell Wilson lands if the Giants sign Aaron Rodgers. I know where he's going to land, in Pittsburgh. What kind of report is this? This is a ridiculously dumb report. Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer says not sure where Russell Wilson lands if the Giants sign Aaron Rodgers. I mean, do I need to do his job for him? Hey, Albert, let me spell it out for you. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants, Justin Fields is in the bushes outside of the Pittsburgh facility. And he's literally got a pen in his hand, and he's waiting for you. All 5'7" of him is sitting in there with the bushes a little bit above his head, and he peeks up, and he's just waiting for the gate code that you took away from him in Pittsburgh. I mean, how hard is it to understand where Russell Wilson's going to go? And the Steelers will be in the, left on the playground after everybody's picked somebody to play kickball, and there's one person sitting there, and you're like, well, we got to draft somebody else. Come on, Stevie. Russell Wilson is going to Pittsburgh if that's the case. I mean, how do I got to connect the dots for you, Albert? Nick Westbrook-Akine. Dolphins agree to terms with this wide receiver that had, what do you have? Let me see. Krueger, how many touchdowns did Nick Westbrook-Akine have in 2024?
Nick Westbrook-Akine had 9 touchdowns in 2020.
That's right.
Nick West.
Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Nick Westbrook-Akine had 9 touchdowns in 2024. It was a solid season for him.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Okay, so that's pretty, it's a pretty good deal for the Dolphins to get this kid in there. And, if something goes awry with Tyreek Hill, they'll have another playmaker. He's one of my favorite late best ball grabs in fantasy football. So on Underdog, code Smitty, promo code Smitty. The link inserts code Smitty for you as well. I'll drop the link right now. Do it live. Travis, if you want to call in on the on the new line that I'm testing out, and I think maybe by tonight or tomorrow we'll have the new lineup, the new phone lineup. Travis, you can try calling in on that phone line so we can test it out a little bit if you're wanting to. Let's see if I got any other pieces of news here. We have this one right here. DeAndre Hopkins signs with the Baltimore Ravens. Next. This is a team that doesn't produce top 20 wide receivers anyway, and he's probably the third receiver. So this is a nothing burger piece of news. He's well past his prime. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We got a $5 hauler from BBQ. BBQ, appreciate you dropping the 5. dollar hauler. Let me dial Travis. Travis, I'll dial you up. Let's see. Travis, send me send me the last four of your number in the Instagram message so I can try and identify what number is yours when you called. DK got his bag and has no one to throw to him. Pickens has no bag and is going to remain calm. He's not going to remain calm. I think he requested a trade, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, let me call you up, Travis. Let's see if this works.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Whoa. All right, Travis, I'm going to try you one more time. Actually, Travis, did you get that missed call? Call into the number there if you see it. Last piece of news. Russell Wilson could return to the Steelers. Oh, funny that I should tell Albert Breer this. If ongoing discussions with Aaron Rodgers result in failure. We all know this. I don't know why that report suggesting that it's unknown where Aaron Rodgers is or where Russell Wilson is playing. Cardinals signed veteran Jacoby Brissett. I love this move. By the Arizona Cardinals. This is fantastic. Such a great move by the Arizona Cardinals. Ritter was an awful choice last year by the Cardinals. I love Brissett, and this is what you want. Nobody should be thinking about if our quarterback goes down, can this guy take us to a Super Bowl? You can't win a Super Bowl that way. You got to load up your other positions. Did the Philadelphia Eagles have a quarterback that's going to take them to the Super Bowl if Hurts goes down? No. But what you got to ask yourself is, can this quarterback be tough for defenses to figure out in 2 to 3 games? Even if there's film on him, like even Joshua Dobbs is a great quarterback to have as your second because no one can figure him out. Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can dial Travis now. I knew we'd have problems.
Your call has been forwarded.
I don't know. I'm trying, Travis. We'll have to figure this out later. We'll work on it maybe after the show, and I'll try and get the line working. That's a bummer. The phone line went down. Okay. So great move by the Cardinals. 347 of you in the building. How many are you from YouTube? We've got around 200 to 250 from YouTube. Hit that thumb up button and subscribe if you're new. Last piece of news that I have, or no, I think I have a couple more pieces of news. Cooper Kupp is, looks like, according to league sources, Kupp is curious about the prospect of playing for New England. We talked about this a couple times. It's a good, solid landing spot for him. I heard he's in great shape. We're all still very confused about why he didn't do any better than he did last year, because when you watch the film, it doesn't make you feel like he's not getting out of his breaks and he's lost too much of a step. Is he lost a step a little bit? Maybe, and maybe not. Like, it's confusing. So I kind of like the idea of him going somewhere where he's the de facto one, and then we get to see what's up. Puka Nacua changing his jersey number to 12, allowing Devontae Adams to have 17. Class act by Puka. I'm sure he's getting taken care of and getting paid for that. But he's the kind of guy that would say, you don't need to pay me. Like, that's Puka Nacua, man. He's unreal. What a teammate. So we're going to see Puka in 12. Sometimes jersey changes are weird, though. It's kind of like the Madden curse. You're like, damn it, don't change jersey numbers. Don't go on the Madden cover. But I don't know. Puka's already got that injury concern, so people are going to tie it to that. I know if he misses 4 or 5 games because he lands on his hands and breaks his arm, everyone's going to blame it on the 12. They're going to blame it on the 12. But $2 million, I read it on fake news. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he got at least like a couple $100,000, depending on. I don't think anybody's paying $2 million for it. But Puka Nacua would take a $200,000, bump. Okay. That's that piece of news here, and then I think that's maybe it. I think we're done. I think we've completed the news wrap up for this show. We don't have any ability to take phone calls today. Let me try Travis one more time. I don't know why this isn't going through to him right now.
Your call has been forwarded.
Yeah, it's not going through, Travis, but try dialing into the phone line. I believe this is the number. I'm trying to remember the new phone line number. I think it's this one. Try that, Travis, from your other line or something. And then in the meantime, I'll go back to Krueger and see what's up. Hey, Krueger, do you think that Cooper Kupp, who the Rams don't want anymore, they're going to get rid of the guy. Do you think that Cooper Kupp is done? Did he lose a step? Is he going to have a revitalized season wherever he ends up because he's not going to be with the Rams? Or, like, should we prepare ourselves for a decline of Cooper Kupp? He already kind of declined.
Cooper Kupp has had some injuries, but he's still a talented receiver. A change of scenery might rejuvenate him. While there could be concerns about a decline, he might still have some great seasons ahead if he stays healthy.
Super chat from Matt. Appreciate you, Matt, for dropping this. Krueger, answer this question if you could. He says the only thing Fields can have sometimes is tunnel vision. I think is sometimes is what he's saying. So do you agree that Fields has to work on the tunnel vision, Krueger?
Yes, Fields has shown signs of tunnel vision at times. It's something he can work on with experience and coaching. Improving his field awareness will definitely help him progress.
I think the reason why he hasn't been able, to be honest with you, Matt, is he hasn't been supported right. He hasn't been supported right. You can't grow. Like, look at Josh Gordon. Again, I always use Josh Gordon as a great example. He was above everybody talent-wise, and then the NFL just was hounding him. Very unfair treatment for Josh Gordon. And Josh Gordon fell behind. That edge that he had, he fell behind. And you can't ever do that. Because everybody in the league, if you think about it, everybody enters the league and they start progressing. They start working with coaches, field experience, field intelligence. And everybody, some people grow more than others. Bucky entered the league and was good. And he matured way more than everybody else around him. He absorbed differently. Like, some guys will improve at the NFL level right when they get in the door, like Bucky. And it's very rare, but it's something that blindsides everybody. Tom Brady entered the league very mediocre, and he matured quicker than anybody we've ever seen in the game. So there's a lot of reason to think Fields, when he came in and he had that advantage and edge, it's just been held back. And the fear is, and I do have the fear, that he's too far gone. But the reason I think that at the end of the day he's going to be okay is because he was playing well up until when he was pulled from the lineup. And I don't think he's going to take... I don't...
If you need anything else, just let me know.
Thanks, Krueger. I don't think that he's going to hold that against himself. I don't think he's going to inward look and it's going to be a problem for him. I think Fields is going to be able to say, I ended on a high note on the field. They didn't respect me. And it's going to be Aaron Glenn's job to reinstill the mental confidence that he needs. And if you remember that Geno Smith struggled with mental confidence as well. And Pete Carroll just instilled it to him and taught him how to believe in himself and gave him all the confidence in the world. That's why they're paired back up in LV. So I think this is the right thing. Travis, you're on the line. Can everybody hear Travis?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, everyone can hear you. Okay. So Travis is on the new phone line. I haven't given the number out yet. We'll have to see if I can get it all squared away by tonight. But this message, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you. Can't agree. Yeah, I can agree on big Fields fan here. I'm hopeful, says Matt. Matt, I think he'll be fine. I think Fields is going to shock the world. And I'm not predicting him to become a 5,000-yard passer. He's not that. He is kind of like I think he's probably more of the stereotype of a running quarterback that people have held on to still for far too long, with some of these amazing running quarterbacks that can now throw the ball just as well. I think he does have to build away from that, and right now he will be 50% running quarterback. But there's a world where Lamar was that exact same player. People didn't think Lamar could throw at all. Lamar was amazing last year throwing the football. So Fields can get there, but it probably won't be right away that Fields is some monster 4,000 yard capable quarterback. It will be a 3,000 yard season potentially. A lot of running, good field position, leaning on the run, defense, run, defense, supporting each other for field position. I think that you can get Fields to score 18 to 22 passing touchdowns, 9 or less interceptions, 10 or less interceptions, 7 rushing touchdowns, and 650, 700 yards on the ground, and you have a playoff team. And you have a player that those numbers, the way they're divided, is a top 10 quarterback. He's not only a top 10 fantasy quarterback, he's a functioning top 10 NFL quarterback at that level. He doesn't need that 4,000 or 5,000 yards, given how much he brings to the table on the ground. Okay, Travis, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, like, even if he isn't the greatest NFL quarterback, which I still think he's going to be very good too, he's going to produce for fantasy. Same thing you said. It's the first time, like, people will argue and say, oh, the Bears were committed to him. They weren't really. Like, whether it was just bad coaching and a terrible, team trying to rebuild that didn't know how to, or they were, you would hear, oh, Fields might get traded, or, oh, he might not work out. They were kind of 1 foot in and out. And so now he's got more weapons than ever. Garrett Wilson, top 10 receiver. Breece Hall, top 10 running back. I think they use Braylon Allen. I haven't written him off. And I think they bring in a tight end too, So he's going to be surrounded and insulated a lot more than he has been.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, they do it at a much higher level. But think of how much having a Derrick Henry helped Lamar.
Yeah.
Think of what a Breece Hall can do with Fields.
Yeah. I think, so essentially my take on this, is that there couldn't be a better spot for Justin Fields. This is what we wanted. This is like what we had kind of hoped for, like, could Fields go somewhere where the repairing process could allow him to mess up and find his way back to solid play? Because as I said, if Fields would have been, let's say he signed with the Titans, or he got traded last year to the Titans and he's committed to the Titans, he had no control of where he's going. I'm sorry to tell you all that think that I'm just a Fields, to the bone type of guy. He would bust. If Fields went to the Tennessee Titans in the current condition that he's in, he would bust. We would never see him thrive, and he'd be a piece of garbage that everybody makes fun of later on, 2-3 years down the line. Fields is trash. Fields is lucky that everything lined up for him to go to this situation, because just like Jalen Hurts, some of you think Jalen Hurts had the best year, he's ever had because he won a Super Bowl. But for those that are dissecting this thing really closely, Jalen Hurts had an up and down year. Jalen Hurts was struggling to throw the football, but he's surrounded by so much talent. Yeah. You got a guy that played so well that everybody's now talking about him being a top 5 NFL quarterback again, not just fantasy, NFL quarterback, and good for him. And he does deserve to be in the conversation again. I love it. I think, and he can still develop too. We had a big argument the other night, Ron Navy talking about him wanting to draft Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes. If you had blank teams, clean slate teams, you're a GM, you were handed the decision to make a draft pick. Everybody was grabbing their quarterback, and he said he'd draft Jalen Hurts on an empty team before Mahomes, and I couldn't even believe my ears. Like, Hurts is surrounded by so much talent right now, and situation and player cannot be separated when you start evaluating fantasy talent and upside and NFL talent and upside. And the truth of the matter is, Fields or Hurts is in a great situation. If you took Hurts out and put him in Tennessee, like the beginning of this year when he was struggling, he would have probably not been even near the same quarterback, and dare I say, he might even fail. Like completely fail.
Yeah, he could fall apart in a situation like that.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
he could absolutely unravel. So Fields is really lucky that this spot was open, that Aaron Glenn believes in him, that the team believes in him, and he has a chance, a final like open door to go down a path that is very similar to Jalen Hurts' path. I'm not saying this team is as good as the Eagles. I'm just merely saying the components to keep defenses honest are the exact same. You got an elite top 5 running back. You got an elite top 5 to 10 wide receiver. I mean, really, Garrett Wilson, you could say, is easily in the conversation of being a top 5 to 7 physically gifted receiver in the National Football League. His fantasy production hasn't been there for many reasons that are obvious, but you're giving him a top 5 potential wide receiver talent. You're giving him a top 1 to 5 potential running back talent, and you're giving him what I believe will be the Aaron Glenn hard-nosed Detroit Lion type feel culture in New York. And that is going to allow him to have all of his deficiencies kind of hidden, like they'll mask them. And as he learns and gets back on his horse and starts perfecting and making his weaknesses strengths, he'll have success as he goes. They'll be there to catch him. He's never had anybody there to catch him and allow him to make mistakes. It's always been on him. Here, the ball's yours. Run, 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 run. Oh, you fumbled. Great. Good job. When he's doing his best to get extra yards because his team either doesn't have wide receivers in Chicago or offensive line or defense or anything, or in Pittsburgh, they took away the playbook and they said, run, run. That's all you can do. Run. That playbook is Russell Wilson's. You don't get to look at it. They totally stripped him down his capabilities. Eagles, what's this? Kenneth Gainwell, Steelers are finalizing a 1-year deal with Kenneth Gainwell. This is great news for Jaylen Warren. You know, if they're out there trying to fill running back holes and you're not going after huge names, you're getting Kenny Gainwell. That's interesting. And it's also, you know, Shipley would be the guy next up.
In a running back.
Yeah, Eagles could.
Steelers. Steelers.
Oh, Steelers. Steelers. But this could mean that they're not. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe they believe in Warren.
It's a 1-year deal.
Still young.
Yeah, it's a 1-year deal with Gainwell. It's not a big deal, but I just mean whenever a team's filling like running back, like you're signing a running back right now. You know, running backs they're just not a climate for it. You kind of wonder if they're pot committing to using these draft picks on other things, but who knows? You never know. Teams are strange when they do these moves, and then later on, you know, you look back and you're like, why did they do that then? If they're going to draft this guy, but interesting. You know,
Shipley, interesting for Shipley.
Yeah,
too.
Shipley's kind of a decent backup, but they could draft somebody as well. I mean, this running back class is so good, and so many of them can fall. It wouldn't be surprising.
Loaded, yeah.
But yeah, Jaylen Warren kind of, you know, we had him on the Moon Man list last year, and he didn't quite, you know, live up to expectations. But maybe we were just a year early. Sometimes we're a year early on players, you know. But what any other news been popping off while I've been ranting and raving here?
Motion detected at the front
nothing
door.
big that I've seen.
Am I careful? I'm looking.
Yeah, I was going to say just real quick with the Jets situation too. Like Garrett Wilson, like how you were saying, he can be in that 5 to 7 range pretty easily. Like he was up and down in terms of production game to game, but overall he still ended up as a wide receiver 10. So it shows you even in a crappy situation, he can still accumulate those numbers.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. What else we got? Thank you for the super chats. I think we got BBQ who dropped that Tomlin bench feels despite the other coaches. You already read that one. And Mahmood, appreciate your super chat as well. Matt, appreciate your super chat. Appreciate any of those gifted memberships. Did any of those come through? Let me see. I think gifted memberships 50 by BBQ. 50. Thank you so much.
Yep.
for dropping the 50 gifted memberships. I don't know why my alerts aren't working. Nothing's working for me today. And none of it's, the crazy part is none of it's tied together. My phone line has nothing to do with my alerts. My microphone has nothing to do with either of those. This has just been a wild day from a technical perspective, but we did it live. Hopefully people that find the show for the first time weather through that first 2-minute intro. But good for Hall and the other runners because they have to account for Fields. Yeah, the thing people don't understand with Fields is that his ability to scramble makes the defensive schemes that you face as a Jets, front line and rushing attack, it'll never be the same. It'll be a defense that is accounting, as you said, for where Fields is at. You spy him, and you always have to know where Fields is at. You always have to account for Fields to run and scramble to the outside. And so the trenches will be just a little bit more spaced out than they would be in any other situation. So just imagine, elevator doors closing. The trenches, you got the A gap, the B gap. Those are elevator doors that are closing. And that's why they say when a running back loses a step, that running back is done in the NFL. Because if you can't get to the hole, you're done. You're absolutely done. And it closes like an elevator door. You're toast. And so when you lose your step, that's why a receiver can still maintain some value for a little while with intelligence and route running. But just imagine these elevator doors closing, and all the gaps on the offensive line are closing. Breece Hall's now going to see these elevator doors closing a little bit slower every single play now. Every single play. Excited for Breece Hall. And we'll see how much he dumps off to him and all that. But from our recollection, right? We can't just use history either, because if we can't use history in a negative sense, right? Oh, Fields wasn't supported, so we're not going to blame, this, that, or that category.
Right.
But we did physically watch Fields dump off to his running backs quite a bit, and he knows how to do that. It's not something he's adverse to or just runs all the time. If you remember back in that 2023 season when we thought Fields was going to blow up, in the preseason he threw the ball he threw the ball twice to his RB, back-to-back plays in his first preseason game. In his first two plays, threw it to I want to say one of it was to Khalil Herbert. He took a 50-yard catch all the way downfield. I think the other one was a screen pass to DJ Moore, maybe, or a receiver. But then they took it 50-plus yards downfield. His first two, I think, and only preseason plays were 50-plus yard screen passes. So for anybody thinking that Breece Hall is not going to get the ball, Fields is going to take all the running, I don't think so. I think that if this were a running back that was more up the gut and a traditional workhorse type of running back, maybe there would be some fear about, hey, some of the touchdowns are going to get taken away now. Some of the rushing yards are going to get taken away. But because Breece Hall's a hybrid, it makes me feel like this is not going to affect him. I think whatever he loses in touchdowns and rushing yards, he may gain them back in receiving yardage. But
I agree.
I love Breece Hall. Breece Hall, and part of me thinks that the negativity around Justin Fields is so crazy that that I think you'll have at least 3 or 4 out of every 10, 12 people. So 3 or 4 people in every draft that you're in is still going to hold some sort of negative black cloud over the situation. And for that reason, I don't know that Hall is going to shoot up the ADP boards. In non-best ball redraft, your home league, non-best ball leagues, your work league, the elevator league, the water cooler league, those leagues, you'll probably see Breece Hall at like the late second to early third. I think a lot of people don't, it's like I always give the example of the mullet. The mullet, you're wearing the mullet goes out of style. You still wear it. You have no clue that it's out of style. You wear it all the way through to the point where the mullet comes back and everyone's like, nice mullet, bro. And you're like, really? You're still wearing it. I think people are still holding on to Breece Hall's earlier value. I don't think people have adjusted from last year. And same thing with Kyron. Kyron's a 3rd rounder in best ball. Breece Hall's a 3rd rounder in best ball. And in non-best ball, I'm not saying, and the weird part is I'm not trying to insult people that don't play best ball, but it's the common person that prepares late. Like they get a magazine. They're magazine drafters. There's no magazines anymore, but they're called magazine drafters. They prepare very late. Doesn't mean they're not good or knowledgeable. They're just busy. And those types of people are off base on Breece Hall and Kyron's value based on the fair market, but they're actually more correct than the best ball people. Like they're the ones that actually know what they're doing, and they're not doing it on purpose. So Breece Hall and Kyron might cost you a second rounder in your mom and pop league, in your non-best ball. But right now, I don't think Breece Hall climbs into round 2 based on the Justin Fields landing spot, unless we're given some sort of preseason production or some sort of news or highlight footage of Fields scrambling all over the field, even if he doesn't throw to Breece Hall or connect with him in that play. But if we start smelling success, then people will start going, okay. And if they do connect on some sort of 70-yard touchdown pass in pads or no pads, maybe shorts, people are still going to get excited. So we need something like that, I believe, to move the needle on Breece Hall's ADP, which is good for all of us that are drafting right now.
Yeah, I think it's a much later round consideration, or even someone you just watch, keep an eye on to pick up. Malachi Corley fits an offense that Fields is in much better than he fits an Aaron Rodgers type offense too. Where you can put the ball in his hands and let him do things, dump it off to him.
We'll see. We're excited about him.
I'm interested to see if they can do something with him because, we were excited about him last year.
Yeah,
so
we're excited
about him. Off completely.
And
then like we talked about before, opening up that, I think what did they draft 7th pick or whatever? They can do anything with that pick now because they have their quarterback. And, they could take a McMillan if they wanted, or they can shore up the line or however they want to do it. That's big for them.
Yeah. All right, Travis.
They will bring in another receiver, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I think they will. I'm gonna head out for now.
Yep.
Here, let's real quickly. Let me introduce you to Krueger here. Like Krueger is so smart that he learns. Like he will learn. I'll introduce you, Krueger. Let me introduce you to Travis. He's pretty much the head moderator here at the Fantasy Football Show in the live chat. You'll be hearing from him in the future. So meet Travis. Travis, meet Krueger. Krueger? Krueger!
Doesn't like me.
Krueger, are you there? Technical difficulties today. I swear. Krueger, are you there? He's probably plotting the demise of the world. Krueger, are you there?
I'm here, Smitty. What do you need?
Okay, I want to introduce you to Travis. Travis is one of my moderators. You'll be, now that you're here on the live streams daily, you'll be getting to know Travis and all the normal, usual phone callers. So I want to introduce you. This is Travis. Travis, this is Krueger.
What's up, Krueger? How you doing?
Hey, Travis. Nice to meet you. Looking forward to working together on the streams.
He's so smart, man. Hey, Krueger, what time is our live stream every day?
Your live stream starts at 5 p.m. Arizona time every day, Smitty.
That's amazing. Except for daylight savings, correct? Then it changes to what time?
That's right. After daylight savings, it shifts to 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, yeah, that's Travis, ask him a question. Travis is going to ask you a question, Krueger.
Sure thing. What's your question, Travis?
Hey, Krueger, how do you feel about the New England Patriots in 2025?
The Patriots are in a rebuilding phase, but they have a solid foundation. It'll be interesting to see how they develop in 2025.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I like it.
We have Krueger, we have a caller. His name's Denny, and he sips back on Grandpa's old cough medicine a lot. Grandpa's. You know what Grandpa's old cough medicine means?
I get the idea. Sounds like Denny enjoys his drinks.
Yeah, he does. So when Denny calls in, he's a little hard to understand. Sometimes the chat loves him. We have another guy named Gump who, how do I word this? He is off his rocker, drives a tractor trailer, and calls us from the road belligerent a lot. So Gump and Denny, you're going to have to get to know those guys as well very soon.
Got it, Smitty. Looking forward to hearing from Denny and Gump. They sound like quite the characters.
Silver Rapture, one of our longest time followers. Can you remember this? Silver Rapture is probably maybe one of the first 10 people to ever watch my show. He says, ask Krueger about Kirk Cousins and whether he'll be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Right now, as you know, Kirk Cousins is on the Atlanta Falcons roster, but there's some thought they might release him.
Kirk Cousins joining the Steelers is an interesting idea. If he becomes available, he could be a solid option for them. It'll depend on how the Falcons handle his contract.
Yeah, because he is a huge dead cap. All right, Krueger, we'll see you tonight, pal. You're relieved for now. Go get something to eat and come back for the evening stream, Krueger. We'll see you later.
I'm sorry, but you've hit the daily limit for advance.
The daily limit. The daily limit? What are we doing? What are we talking about? He told me that I could ask him questions all day long. I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Krueger. I'm very disappointed in Krueger. All right, Travis, I'll see you later tonight.
Yeah.
Later, I gotta work that out with him. All right, later. That lying son of a bee. All right, we'll see you all later. Appreciate you. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. I've had a technological mess all day long. All right, see you all later. Appreciate you.